Well, it looks like Snoop has went and kissed the ring and bent the knee to Donald Trump after saying he wouldn't play for him. He's went and played for him, and a lot of people, are disappointed today, and a whole lot of people are shocked. But I got to be honest with you, I'm not shocked at all. It does not shock me in the least that a rich dude would go play for another rich dude. Anymore, folks, to be honest with you, I'm just shocked if someone does something good. I'm shocked if someone actually sticks to their word and stands by their word. I'm shocked if I see a random act of kindness. And I know that's terrible, but I will see somebody do something good and I will sit and question it to death before I actually enjoy it. I'll start questioning their motives and questioning everything that's going on. And that's really sad that that's the kind of world we're living in, but unfortunately, that's where we're at. So I'm going to play y'all a clip right now of Snoop talking about people playing for Trump. This is before he went and played for Trump. Take a look.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? I'll be the one that performs for himself.
So Shooter Jennings has a song that says the punchline is, your heroes turn out to be assholes, and the light that you're chasing in the tunnel is a train. And I tell you, here lately, I have thought of that song and thought of that punchline more and more because it happens every day. Now, Snoop ain't someone that I would consider a hero. I never really listened to much of his music, to be honest with you, which wasn't my thing. But he's always seemed like a likable character. He's somebody, if you see him on TV or wherever, he's a likable dude, the stoner that he is. You can't help but crack up at him and enjoy him from time to time. But, yeah, he's let a whole lot of people down, and I can so relate to it because so many people that I once admired or admired their body of work has let me down. Most recently it was The Undertaker. I did a whole video on that because I've been a lifelong wrestling fan and a lifelong fan of him. I was a fan of him when he was Mean Mark and the Skyscrapers, and loved his body of work as a wrestler. But like I said in the video about him, just because someone gave you a lot of entertainment with their body of work does not mean they agree with the things that you agree with or believe in. Doesn't mean they're going to stand for the same things you stand for. And I think a big part of the reason why is because these things are never going to affect them at all. Snoop's never going to be affected by Donald Trump. He's going to get a tax break out of the deal. None of the policies that Trump puts in place will hurt Snoop in the least, and if it even comes close to it, he's got money to get around it, so he'll be okay. But these people, they love to go out there and they love to go with what's current, and they love to go with what's popular at the moment, and they don't like to go against the grain. A lot of people don't like to swim against the current. They like to go with the flow of things, and they're looking at their bottom dollar and, I don't want to lose fans and don't want to lose followers. I don't want to alienate anybody, and so. They say what they say, and then they go out and do the complete opposite. And it really shouldn't shock anybody. I'm really glad for me personally that things worked out for me the way they did, because I was a musician for over 20 years, 25, 26 years now. I've been playing music and tried so hard and worked so hard to get that over. Was never able to break on through. I had a lot of cool things happen over the years. I got to record in Nashville. With the producer that had produced Waylon Jennings. That was really cool. And got to open up for a lot of people that I really looked up to and admired. And there would be so many times where I would be right on the brink of something good happening, and then it would just fizzle out. And then all of a sudden it blew up as a social commentator, like just sitting in my chair talking took me to places that I never thought I would go to. But honestly, when I look back at it now, and I'm glad it happened that way. Because let's just say that lightning had struck me and one of my albums had went to #1 or whatever, then I would have definitely disappointed a whole lot of people in interviews when I started getting asked certain questions. I would have definitely probably had the right wing coming after me, canceling me, because I do play a kind of music that kind of falls into that, I hate the terms, but like that outlaw country, southern rock, and I hate both those labels, but that type of music that appeals to conservatives. I mean, I played to conservative audiences all my life. That's what I was playing to, and they would see me out doing Waylon Jennings and Allman Brothers covers in a bar somewhere, and they'd think, and I was writing songs about the place we were from, and they were like, oh, he's one of us. But then if they started talking to me on a bar stool and got into politics, they didn't like what I had to say at all. And if they went home and added me on Facebook and then saw some of my posts, they were suddenly disappointed, like, wait a minute. So when I started talking and doing what I'm doing now, it definitely ticked off a whole lot of people. And I'm not very popular around here. I'm popular on the internet. I got over 500,000 people now. Over 500,000 people have subscribed to my YouTube channel. But I do all I do all my grocery shopping online, and I go through the drive-through, and I rarely go out to eat. And when I do, I dread it, to be honest with you, because I went completely against the grain and completely against the current of what everyone in my part of the world believes. There's so few blue dots where I'm at that we know each other on a first name basis. So, the reason why that I talked about these things is because I felt like they were important. I felt like it's what we should be talking about. Ever since the pandemic, I just looked at the world different anyway. It was one of those moments where when all the gigs got canceled and everything kind of stopped for a minute, it gave me kind of pause to sit and look around and see what was important in this world. And I realized that I had wanted to speak out and speak up for a long time and just hadn't. And if I have any regrets in this world, it's not for anything I've said. It's that I didn't say it sooner. It's that I didn't jump on this a long time ago and speak out a long time ago. Because I would write songs where I would kind of say it through a character, or I would find a way to say it in a way that, kind of went around it. I didn't go directly at it like I wish that I had of now. I got to give a shout out to the Drive-By Truckers. Their album, The Unraveling's right there on my wall. Back in 2016, when Trump got elected, the first time they came out with an album, American Band, and they just drew the line in the sand and said, we're not going to, we don't want you here. If that's the kind of person you are and you support that kind of crap, we don't want you at our show. And I've been at shows where someone busted out a Confederate flag and they stopped the show. Get that out of here. We don't want that in our room. We're not going to play to that. And I highly respect them. And so they were really a massive influence on just going ahead and speaking up and speaking out. They influenced me musically, obviously, but the speaking out was the biggest thing that they influenced. So if you've never listened to their music, I think they're the greatest American band ever. I really do. I don't think anyone wrote songs the way they do. Another great one is Tyler Childers, whose album's hanging right there, Long Violent History. He put out that album, and I went to defense of it because he was talking about police brutality in the song Long Violent History, and he put out a message along with it, and a lot of people in my part of the world started wanting to cancel him and calling him woke. And all the guy was doing was asking people to look at things from a different perspective. Hey, just put yourself in this person's shoes and look at it from their point of view for a minute. And people got so upset with him they was wanting to cancel him and never go to his show again. And I defended him in a video, and then it blew up, and here we are. But there's very few people out there who will stick to their word. There's very few people out there who will stick to it. As long as I've been listening to the Drive-By Truckers, they've been this way. They've always had these stances. I don't know what I would do with my life if if they suddenly turned and played for Trump. I would probably I don't know. That would be the end of me. I don't think I would ever be able to listen to a song again. I know they're not going to do that, though. But, whoever you enjoy, if you enjoy their songs or their art, or enjoy watching them play sports, or enjoy watching them pretend to be a dead man that looks like a biker, whatever it is that you enjoy, just remember they're rich people who a lot of times it's not going to affect them at all. They don't care. It's not going to hurt Snoop a bit. It's not. He's not going to care. Because all he's going to do now is there's going to be MAGA people suddenly loving his music, and that's kind of funny when you stop and think about it. I'm always cracked up. I'm sorry, but I can't help but crack up sometimes when I see the music that MAGA will suddenly like, or the actor they'll suddenly get behind just because Trump is suddenly behind them, and the people they will turn on and betray in a heartbeat. The whole thing is just, man. Here we are, folks. It's coming. Tomorrow we enter into a whole new chapter, and so there's going to be a whole lot coming at us. There's going to be a whole lot to talk about, and I'm just going to go ahead and be honest with you up front. I'm going to do my damnedest to talk about as much of it as I can. There probably will be times where I'll let Coach D or Adam Mockler or someone else take that one and just say, hey, I'll come from another angle, because it's really going to hit the fan tomorrow. But tomorrow I'm going to be releasing a new album on Inauguration Day. It's called the Brimstone Sessions Volume 2, and I'm going to be releasing that on Bandcamp to give people something to listen to. I'm going to be going live during the inauguration. I'm not going to be covering it. I'm not going to be showing it. I'm just going to be sitting here talking about my new album. I might have some guests drop in to talk about other things. And we are going to come out the other side of this, and just prepare for it, folks. Your heroes are going to let you down. Your heroes are going to disappoint you. That's why it's important to always, stay focused on what you believe and what you stand for, and understand that not everybody's always going to come through for you. They're going to let you down. I know a lot of Snoop fans are disappointed. I feel your pain. I felt that way when The Undertaker did what he did. I felt that way about a lot of musicians and bands I listened to over the years. And I'll say this in closing, man. Like if the Snoop that came up back then could see him doing this all these years later, he would be cussing that dude out. He would hate that dude. He would write a song and roast that dude if he saw it. But unfortunately, here we are.